Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm tutorial series. Last episode, we had a little bit of a meltdown as we tried to move from place to place. We got pulled out of the driver's seat of our vehicle. Lyle chose to exit, and because he is for some reason poorly equipped, we basically got ourselves into a sticky situation. I maintained that we were never really in any danger. Our character could have easily run away and left Lyle to die, but of course we're trying to build that NPC faction camp, so that was not an option. The AI wasn't really cooperating with me, and it led to me being frustrated and essentially save scumming, which, again, I don't really recommend save scumming. I think that in my casual playthrough we would have just dealt with it and lost our character, or our NPC character, but unfortunately because it's the tutorial series and that's kind of the point, I didn't feel that that was a viable thing to do. We, of course, could have just debugged a new NPC into existence. Just like, we talk about the faction camp, I could easily just teleport somewhere, build whatever I want, and do that. But I really wanted to do this as a Let's Play, kind of giving tutorial content, and then while we're at this stage of the game where there's less tutorial stuff to talk about, I thought I would just shift to my normal commentary type stuff while we built and tried new things, because I really don't like debugging a whole bunch of stuff. I prefer... Why can't I move? Oh, we're driving. Yes, no, let's stop driving. I prefer to play things as we go. Yes, everything is broken, I know. Okay, so before we drive away, we gave Lyle an M4, which he has lost. It just vanished out of existence. Did he drop it inside by some chance? Oh, very laggy. I don't know why that is happening. Hello, Lyle. Yes, we have him set to follow us. There's a pile of stuff here. Okay, before we leave, we're going to equip Lyle, because there's no reason he should be going into battle wielding a baseball helmet. Like, that's just nonsense. We did take his spears away from him, but they were very damaged. And we gave him an M4, and we gave him 2 of our magazines, if I remember right. And they're just gone, and I don't know why that happened, but we're going to equip Lyle. Where'd you go, Lyle? Okay, why don't you... Okay, let's just grab him some weapons. Do we have the nail bat still? We'll give him the nail bat, and we'll check our gun pile. We do have a backup M4, but I'm out of Stanag mags now, so we should have an M4 in here somewhere. Yeah, M4A1. We could take Stanag mags out of some of these other guns. There's one here. There should be one up. No, those are shotguns. I thought we had a M1 something that was also a Stanag mag. Doesn't look like it. Anything else with Stanag mag? No, they're all pretty basically named. Do we have any just loose magazines? No, we don't. Okay, alternatively, we could give him the scout rifle or whatever, and have him use the 8x40 mil, the caseless ammunition. We don't have a ton of that, if I remember right. Yeah, we don't. Okay. Yeah, because our armories that we found in the barracks in the labs were not as rewarding as I often find them. We could pull ammo out of all these other things that have the 8x40, but I really would rather him use 5.56. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the M4, take the M27. We're going to step up here, unload the M27. How much ammo is in the M4? None. It looks like it just has 1 in the chamber. Oh, it doesn't even have a magazine in it. Oh, because we had taken it out. Yeah, we had accidentally picked up this M4 because currently when you unload something, it actually picks it up and puts it in your inventory. So what I'm going to do... Man, so we only have 1 clip we could give him, huh? It's like, okay, here's an AR-15 with 223. Okay, unload the AR-15 as well. Oh, this menu is going to be not fun to navigate. The AR-15. Anything else? Stanag. Okay, so we should have... No, I just saw the word Stanag as well. Unload. Yeah, what is this? Why is it now on this pile? Stanag. Did they change? So where's the Stanag that's loaded with 308? It's not listed here, but it's listed in my unload menu. It just says magazines. It doesn't tell me where they are. If I unload this, does it pick it up? Nope. So where? This particular menu, the capital V menu, does not search vehicle parts, which is a problem I have. I don't like that at all. So it says magazines, so you would assume it's on the magazine pile. Did we make a separate magazine pile? Maybe in the... No. Nope. So you would think it would be in the ammo pile because there's no other pile with anything magazine related. It said there was a Stanag mag that had 308 in it, so it's not one of the ones that's in our inventory because these are all listed as having 223. We unloaded it, so now we have the ammo, but they, I guess, recently changed it so you no longer pick things up when you unload them. So we don't know where it's at. It should be in this pile. It clearly listed Stanag mag as a magazine that was listed in a magazine pile. So I really don't know what to make of that. It may have been another thing that got lost to the ether. Remington, this is green, so that makes me think this also might have the same kind of magazine in it. It does. So that may have been the gun, because it was loaded with 300 AC blackout. But why then would it unload? Okay, I don't care. Drop. Sorry, internet. Do we even want... I mean, it might even be that some of these other guns are better than the M4. But I'm just going to give him the M4. So let's reload all... No, we're going to have to reload manually here, because it's trying to reload the M4. And we're just going to select these through our inventory menu, because this allows us to... If we hit R, it's trying to reload the M4. But if we go in our inventory and select the clip, we can actually manually reload that specific clip, because the R button will default to what it thinks you want. So we should have... Excellent. We have many Stanag mags, so let's reload the M4. Excellent. Okay. We have 4 extra rounds, or extra clips. Let's save. And we're going to trade with Lyle Darden. Talk. Not yet. I want you to use this item. Use the M4. Thanks, I'll wield that now. Excellent. Excellent. I want... let's trade items. So do you have any garbage you shouldn't have in your inventory? Yeah, a food dehydrator you don't need. We gave him that expensive coat, which I can't tell if he's wearing or not, because it's color-coded blue, and I don't really know what blue means. You don't need the photo album. I'm not sure why you picked up... It says it's on the stow board, so why is it listed in your inventory? It's not yours. You can't have that, Lyle. A seat? I don't understand why he has these things in his inventory. Ultralight battery, you don't need that. You don't need the aluminum can, glass jar, the cigarettes. You can keep the baseball helmet. I'd prefer you put it on, though, instead of using it as a weapon. And then you can have an extra magazine. You can have 2 extra magazines, Lyle. That's how kind and generous a benefactor I am. So you can have both of those. Yeah, just drop this garbage. What is it, friend? Let's go. Okay, so go ahead and drop all the crap we just got from him that we don't actually want. And hopefully he doesn't pick them back up, because there's no reason for him to have these things taking up his inventory space. Also a photo album, which I don't care about. And I would like to give you... Oh, I didn't give you the baseball bat. Not yet. We're still looking for a relic for him. Let's trade items. Okay. F, the nail bat. F in chat, please. We'll give him that. And he should now be wielding... He is holding an M4. We will wield our SIG. You know what? Let's give him some loose ammo as well. Just because we'll give him like 100 rounds. Because I'm not sure how NPCs work. I don't know if they reload automatically or how they do things. So go ahead and talk. Not yet. And trade items. And you can have... I don't want to give him all of it. E. How many? Give him like 100 rounds. Done. It didn't give it to him. Trade items. Sorry, Internet. I'm so not used to dealing with NPCs. This is very clunky to me because it's not something I've ever done before. Yes. Let's go. Okay. And then finally, we want to tell him to stay close to us, which is what we did at the end of the last episode. It just didn't work out really for us. Chit chat about your history. No. Where is miscellaneous rules? I want to set some miscellaneous rules. Oh, none of those. Don't walk through closed doors. Set up. Never mind. Commands for combat. Stick close to me no matter what. He will follow you closely even when threatened. He will follow at about 2 paces. Yes, that sounds fine. Never mind. Let's go. Okay. And then finally, I think if the door is closed when he goes inside, he will auto-close it behind him. Would be my interpretation. Okay. So, it only took us 11 minutes, but we're in a position now where I feel comfortable rolling out. At least he has a gun in his hands. He is once again wearing his ball cap or his ball helmet, instead of trying to bludgeon enemies with it. So in the last episode, we proceeded up here trying to cross this bridge, and when we got here, we discovered that there was a minefield on the bridge. Now, the way Cataclysm works, I don't know if we've talked about this. I can actually illustrate this in the debug menu. Map editor, overmap terrain. No, I'm looking for... No, don't spawn the recipe. Or the restaurant. No, I'm trying to edit terrain. No. I'm trying to spawn the overmap special, which I thought was this menu. They changed things around several months ago, and I don't use it as much as I used to. Furniture, edit overmap, and map gen. Yeah, that's the one. Move shape. No, I'm looking for... How do I do specials? Sorry, Internet. I'm sorry. It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Okay, overmap editor. And if I hit S, this is going to try to place down a special. So, like, let's just put a hospital. And I hit enter. And I hit... Oh, no. The game... Okay, I was afraid it was going to spawn a hospital on top of me. Okay, good. Enter. Here we go. So... what you're seeing is our current map, and the red areas are areas that have already been generated. So the way Cataclysm works, my god, this is laggy. As you reach areas, it will generate a... It doesn't generate the map until it's around you. So all this red, areas highlighted in red have map content already generated. Their overmap ID will... That's for spawning, doesn't matter. But the red area is stuff that has already been generated. So this house right here has not yet been generated. The game knows that, hey, there's a house there, but it hasn't generated the layout, it hasn't generated the loot, it hasn't put the enemies there. All it knows is that, hey, it's a house, and when we get close to it, this red area will expand and it will start generating these houses. So it doesn't generate locations until you get close. So if we look at like the edge of a map, like where, let's say as far south as we had gone, we drove along this road, you'll see it only extends a few map tiles away from where our location is. So we came down this road, we didn't go into the forest, we didn't go into the field, so all it generated is this tile and a couple tiles in the other directions around us. So when you travel, it's this little chunk that gets generated as you move. So because of that, this minefield that was previously on this bridge may not even be there this time when we drive up there. Now, since we used a map, the game knows that there's a bridge here. So the game may also say, okay, well, this is a bridge, but it's also a bridge with a minefield. It might not have generated the exact map yet, but it might say no matter what, every time we go here, this is going to have a minefield on it. Or it could be like most other places where it doesn't generate any of that kind of stuff until you get close. So there's a good chance that if we go back in this direction, we're not going to encounter that minefield. In fact, when we get up here, all the monsters that we saw as we were driving, all that stuff is going to probably be different because it hasn't generated that location yet. So, and saving or quitting without saving can also lead to like duplicating monsters and stuff like that. So on the way back up there, it's pretty rare that happens. I do this a lot for testing and whatnot. But like, if it does happen, we might encounter duplicate vehicles, duplicate enemies, so it might be harder to navigate up there. So I was thinking, like, maybe we shouldn't even go up there. Let's take a look at what's around us yet. Oh, just nothing over there. That's not going to happen. Nothing over here. Probably labs and stuff. Like, this is probably a lab or a military base, but really, this is the only big town that's really accessible to us unless we want to drive all the way south again. And this isn't even a big town. And these, look at these maze work of roads. We'd have to come all the way down here to get to any decent city. And these are all pretty small. Someone did ask me about why my cities are so big. Like here we're seeing many small towns that are not actually that big. So part of it is RNG. Part of it is I'm using default settings. Oh, looks like we have another big one over here. Oh, very big. So yeah, it just depends on RNG. Like these are all very small towns that aren't going to have very much. They're mostly just going to be a few houses. So I do think going north is probably our best play because it's the closest, most easily accessed city. I wanted to push all the way up to like here and live because it's between these two big cities. It's so far though, and if we get up there and the bridge is blocked, we have to scramble on what to do. And this just dead ends out here, huh? We could come over here and build between this city and this small town over here. We could do that. There's something here. I don't know what this would be. Might be a farm or something that occupies this space. Whatever. Let's get moving. Let's save again before we drive, now that we have Lyle Darden sorted out, and hopefully he's not going to be incompetent. We're driving. Oh, I'm noticing we're not deaf anymore, by the way. Still getting that bug with the earbuds. The open can thing has been supposedly fixed. We should probably put our headlights on. You ever driven without your headlights? It's freaking terrifying. It's one of those things, it's like, let's back up and go around. I would never do on purpose. When I was a teenager, I knew kids who would drive without their headlights because they thought it was cool, which is like super dumb. I drive for a living now, and I have had headlights out. And you know, you get on a rainy night with your one headlight out, and it's freaking impossible to see. And then, like a year ago, probably not quite a year ago, I don't remember when it was, we had my alternator died. Yeah, you just head north this whole way. Yeah, my alternator was bad, and that led to the battery dying because it obviously was not charging the battery. So I'm driving, and I drive like most of my route. Oh, see, so here's an example. I believe in our, excuse me, in our last episode, we drove all the way up here, but because this has no longer been generated, it actually generated a wreck here this time, which is not really passable, so this is not something we can drive through. Now, based on the size of our vehicle, we could squeeze through at this little park here and just run over the stuff here, but it would be a tight fit, and you know what? I just don't feel like doing it, so we're just going to drive around. Oh, we hit zombies from behind. Quite a lot of zombies following us, to my surprise. We do have the doors closed, so this should be less of an issue than it was in the last episode. Oh, another tight squeeze, but we'll slow down. Seeing a big old horde, including a spitter, which is something we have not seen before. So, and a snapper. How about that? 2 zombies we have not seen before. So why don't we take a moment to talk about them? That'll help with the boringness that is driving. Basically that story was, my battery died. So basically all night my headlights got progressively dimmer. And then by the time it finally died, the sun was coming up. But man, I could not see anything. And the whole ride was like, what is wrong with my headlights? They're so dim. It's so scary. And then it turns out the batteries were dying. The battery was dying. Anyway, so let's talk about these 2 zombies. We talked about acidic zombies in the last episode, and I linked you to my acidic zombie video in the top right, and this time I will link you to my spitter video in the top right, because I covered all 4 of the acidic zombie line. Basically, the spitter zombie, if I remember right, they're faster than the other zombie variants. I think this is the fastest acidic zombie, so they're pretty quick. And basically what a spitter zombie does is think about Left 4 Dead 2, the spitter. Oh, no, I thought I got a glimpse of a smoker up there, but that's some toxic gas. We were actually here before, now that I'm thinking about it, because we stole a vehicle from here, and there was a gas zombie. So it looks like he exploded, and a lot of these have upgraded from us being away for a long time. But anyway. Spitter zombie spits at you, right? So I think it has a range of like 15 or something like that. So as you would approach, it's like this far. Let's say we're on the tile where our red dot is. He's going to spit at us. Now, they're pretty inaccurate as far as things go. You're going to get hit way more by a corrosive than a spitter. So the spitter has a good chance of like missing you, and it's not a big deal. So the general strategy is to like let them get close, let them spit at you, and just stay far enough away so like as soon as it comes in range, it spits at you. That way it has like the least chance of hitting you. Once it spits, there is a recovery period. I'm going to go ahead and say it was 20, but I might be wrong about that. So check that video that I linked, because that will tell you what the cooldown is. But once he spits, your job 100% is to murder him. Because if you get close, and let's say you get bogged down by some other zombies fighting other zombies, this guy's going to spit again, and he's going to hit you because you're much closer now. And when they spit, they leave a pretty big area of acid on the ground. It's not just one tile. When the acidic zombie barfs on you, it's one tile of acid. When you kill them, sometimes they'll leave like a streak of 2 or 3, like behind them, kind of like a blood splatter. But this guy, when he spits, will leave a pretty big area of probably 8 or 9 tiles of acid. And if you get spit at you and it hits your area, not only are you taking damage immediately, because remember, you take damage as soon as you're on a tile with acid, which damages your legs. You have a very good chance of breaking your legs when you fight acidic zombies. But if he spits and hits you, you get surrounded by this acid. Not only do you take the damage from being on the acid tile, but then you have to move through the acid, which burns your legs some more, and then move through the acid, which burns your legs some more. And then even once you get out, there's an ongoing corrosive effect that damages your legs. So like by the time you move 6 tiles, not only are you going to be in incredible pain, which is going to slow you down and make you more vulnerable, but you're also going to take probably about half of your health on your legs worth of damage. So they're real scary. If you like walk around a corner and you're in a room with it, yeah, you're going to get hurt real bad. But if you encounter them outside, just approach, let them fire. They will most likely miss you. They're not very accurate. And then immediately kill him. If you have to go into melee, you can go into melee. I would not recommend it because, again, does this guy have the acid barf ability? I don't think he does. So I think they're safe to melee. They're the only acid zombie that doesn't have the melee acid barf attack. So you should be able to melee him, but you need to prioritize killing him, because if we say we get out, we come over here, he spits and misses, and then we find out the tough zombie is like way too close, so we can't really focus this guy, so we fight the tough zombie. By the time we begin attacking him, it will be too late. He will be able to spit again, because it's a longer cooldown, if I remember right, but it's not like super long. And within the span of 1 or 2 fights, he will be able to spit again. So you need to prioritize them. So that is the spitter zombie. And of course, they leave the acid blotch around them when they die, and you have to move their corpse and dissect them or dismember them instead of pulping them, because if you pulp them, they can splash you with acid. Next, we have this zombie snapper. So I don't think we've seen any in the game. There is a zombie swimmer. A zombie swimmer is a basic zombie. It's very similar to a standard zombie. Not very scary. They spawn a lot at pools. We haven't seen a pool. Pools, for a period of time, were one of the most common buildings in the game. That has been reduced, but they're still in most every town. I still usually see at least one pool. So there's a thing called a swimmer zombie. It's really basic, not very scary. However, it will upgrade over time, and it will upgrade to something called a... Oh, what are they called? Slobbering Biter is the mid form. And I believe this mid form is pretty quick. It deals damage. It can make you bleed. It's just not it's not a particularly potent creature, but if you're caught off guard, it can make you bleed, which can lead to some hit point loss and things. So they move up to a Slobbering Biter. The Slobbering Biter then upgrades into a zombie snapper. And their general theme is that they're like aquatic, right? So like this guy has like a crocodile face, rows of protruding teeth, and swimwear clad zombie. Again, they spawn primarily at pools and things like that. In fact, this guy might not spawn at all. He might be upgrade only. But anyway, when you see swimmer zombies, they will eventually turn into zombie snappers. These guys are like, I don't know, I consider them pretty tough. Again, if we have a gun and everything, they're not that scary. But when you get to a pool and you see like 9 of these guys hanging out, they can be pretty dangerous. Most of the time you will see them in packs because they upgrade from the swimmer zombies at pools. Swimmer zombies can spawn a lot of places, but again, if you find them at a pool, there's going to be a big horde of these guys and Slobbering Biters. This guy bites, which deals a decent amount of damage. They're pretty armored. They're not like on par with a tank or anything like that, but they have a decent amount of armor. Can be very tricky to melee. They do bite you, and I believe they also can inflict the bleed as well. So in general, try not to melee these guys. Shoot them if you're able. They do have decent armor, so it can be a little bit difficult to penetrate them. And again, their main thing about them that makes them scary is the fact that you will often encounter them in really big groups. If we come up on a pool, pools are one of those locations that, in my opinion, spawn too many enemies. We've talked about that when we saw the park and there were like 40 enemies there. Pools are the same way. Most of the time, if you see them in the early game, it's not a big deal because they're all like swimmer zombies, which are basically basic zombies. But if you encounter one in the late game, you're going to find like 9 to 15 of these zombie snappers, a whole bunch of the Slobbering Biters, and it just becomes like it's just so annoying to have to clear. We cleared one out. I think it was in our Cataclysm series. It was one of the last things I did before I quit the game. Quit that series was we cleared out a pool, and there were just like so many of these guys. And even with a warhammer and like a good gun, we ended up standing and tanking just so many of them because there was such a big horde of them. So I have a healthy fear of them because of their numbers. This guy by himself is not a big deal. The spitter could be an issue. I believe standing in a vehicle, by the way, completely insulates you from acid on the ground. So, like, even if he spits and hits us in the face, it's not going to burn our legs off because we're in a vehicle. So I don't think there's anything he's going to do to us. We're just going to divert to the north here and completely ignore these guys anyway. But I had promised that we would talk about the various monster evolutions as we saw them. So, yeah, snapper and a spitter. Pretty interesting. Didn't really expect to see a snapper this early. They're not on a particularly slow upgrade timer or anything, but just not really used to playing this far into the game. I honestly quit all the time. Why am I stuck? Yeah, so this is an issue we discussed briefly before, is that shrubs will completely halt your vehicle if you're going slow. And I kind of get it. It's like, you know, if you were driving 4 miles an hour and you drove into a bush, the bush might stop you. But shrubs and stuff just annoy me at how much they can slow you down. When you're going slow, they'll completely halt your movement, which is just silly. So we're not going to spend time looking. In fact, we see a swimmer zombie. Why don't we take a quick look at that swimmer zombie? It's right there. Go ahead and zoom in and give me the look here. It's just the dude in a Speedo. There's also a female variant. There was a long-running joke for a long time about swimmer zombies being sexy because they were one of the only female sprites in the old chest hole tile set. And, of course, they were wearing like a... I think, did they have an inner tube on? Like a bikini and an inner tube? Doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a swimmer zombie. He's pretty basic as far as things go. Slick and glistening human body. Its hands and feet are webbed, and it is clad in swimwear. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty basic. Just wanted to point him out since we were just talking about him. We're not going to like talk about every single zombie that we drive by. I would rather talk about them when we actually get into combat with them. So, like, I can actually tell you, like, oh, well, this is scary. Something is wrong with my vehicle? Why? Never mind. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Let's see if we can get through here without clipping anything. Just eluded devourers coming to smack the vehicle a little bit. Let's try to avoid the bushes. And we're just going to try to get out of town here, and we'll call the episode. Oh, this is not the right road. Oh, oops. Oh, and there's a big building up here. What is this? What is this? Why is there a big wall up here? We need to turn around. You Rourke, head of security, puts on their light amp goggles. What? There's another NPC. Where is he? Oh, I want to hop in my car, my friend. I mean, we are in no position to rescue anyone. This might actually be a quest, one of the quest-giving locations up there. The way to the Humvee. Okay, so I thought we were destroying some of our vehicle. We seem to be fine. So I think that this building is actually part of a quest-giving location. We maybe should be checking that out, but I would rather just get clear and get to at the outskirts of the city before we call the episode here, because driving in the city is torture. Ah! Don't hit the tow truck. Supposed to be, someone said some towing stuff was being added to the game. Lyle Darden reloads his M4. Northeast, you hear glass breaking. Why'd you reload your M4? Are you shooting? Please don't be shooting. Is he shooting while we drive? That would be real dumb. You can hear again. You hear smash, you hear thump. Did you shoot? Military destroys several. You hear blam. Yeah, he's shooting. Don't shoot. Maybe they got in the door with him somehow. Or they were in the vehicle in the rear when I was backing up and stuff. Oh, it literally just dives into the next town? Okay, I thought there was a little bit of, like, grassland. Incoming shocker zombie. Thank you, Lyle Darden. Let's just, you know, I really don't even want to save in case things go super bad again. But let's call the episode. We can save. Screw it. It's fine. So for now, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. At least we got to talk about some tutorial stuff. At least by talking about the enemies. I really am just so over this series at this point. I'm trying to hold it together, trying to be a decent host, but like, I think you can probably tell that I'm a little bit flustered by some things, and I hate driving in these cities. I'm so bad at it. I hit tons of stuff all the time, you know, and I'm worried we're gonna like clip a building and lose part of our vehicle or something. It's fine. It's fine. So for now, thank you, Internet, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, maybe consider clicking that like button. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that if you feel so inclined. I'm trying to build up my subscriber count, trying to work ever so slowly towards 1,000. Yeah, and I'm just grateful that like 650 people even have subscribed in the first place. But yeah, that's going to do it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.